the moment I've been waiting for. I've been waiting to tell you this, and I've been waiting to accomplish this, but I figured it out. This bell siphon problem has been racking my brain for a while now, and I figured it out last night after I made the video. One of the major improvements that seemed to help a lot was to raise the inlet of the Snorkel tube, and I just used what I had and just ripped up the inlet to be a little bit higher, and I got consistent results. The other thing I did was I made a very high resolution print, and I believe that's really helping with the surface tension. The other things I've done, I've raised the Snorkel so that when it comes into the pipe, it's all the way at the top of the bell, and that way it doesn't get in the way of any water that's coming over the edge of the lip. Because it has such a high surface tension, the water is a little bit higher before it goes over the lip, and I didn't want it to knock into that Snorkel to hold it back at all. The other thing I've noticed with some of these plans online are that they have kind of like a reducer coming in at the top of the standpipe, and I took that into effect and kind of made my own twist on it. And what I did is, you can see it's a normal width towards the top, and then as it gets towards the bottom in the middle here, it actually does that reducing. However, I didn't go at a 45-degree angle. I actually took a hemisphere and kind of stretched it out, and so you'll see the angle slowly comes down and then whoosh, curves in at the bottom, and hopefully the water's just hitting itself and pulling the air in a vacuum down. So I'm hoping that's what's actually happening now, is why this is actually working. I'm getting consistent results every time. It floats up, it goes down. It's actually so this is where the standpipe actually comes up to. So you can probably see that here. And what happens is it goes a little bit higher than that lip, and then it exits. And I think that's because of the water tension. Man, I'm kind of excited about this, because this means I can move on to the next phase of this whole setup. You know, the high resolution print, it takes a long time, but it seems to be well worth it. I ran into some hiccups. I got this mess here. You'll notice the bottom of the standpipe is actually much thicker than the reduced pipe. And that's because I needed more surface tension, because it got out of control and the print head just started moving it around and kind of pulled it off the bed. So that issue had been fixed with this model, as to make the bottom a little bit wider. One of the other things I found was that the pipes itself, the bell, could actually be reduced with its outer wall. So that's one of the things I did. Another thing I found out was that the program I was using, it usually makes a cylinder with 20 sides. It isn't a perfect circle. And I can kind of see this visually here. I don't know if the camera can pick it up very well, but I can actually see horizontal lines going up and down, because it's not close enough to a near circle. I can visually see those semi-hard edges. I upped the number of sides to 60 sides, so it's near a perfect circle. Well, it's not exactly perfect, because, you know, there's 360 angles or 360 degrees in a full circle. So we still have a few problems here, but I think it's perfect enough in that it's really helping this thing out. So yeah, that's an accomplishment. I'm debating if I should put the plans online to this thing or what. I think I want to do a few more tests, but I can now move on to the next phase of this grow box. I've got a pretty good idea of how large the container should be for the plant that I'm going to grow. And right now I'm just thinking about basil. So I'm just going to make a basil plant in this thing and go from there. I might look at the other options. I'm also looking at options for plant media material. So I'm thinking about getting very small stones. Maybe I can pick some stones up on a walk or something as I see them laying around. I've also been thinking about some paper that I have. Maybe I can recycle some of these flyers I get in the mail for grocery stores. There's also the idea, I've been seeing that people make something similar to peat moss out of coconut shells. So I do have a grocery store budget, so I wouldn't say that's a far stride from not spending money on this project if it's something that is waste of what I'm already consuming. So I think tomorrow I'll give you guys another update of how this project's going. And look at that, I got another little alfalfa hair on this guy. They're kind of cute, but I just want to get rid of them too. I can't stop picking at them if I see them. Okay, so really good day. The other thing to keep in mind is the 30-day challenge to get a movie out every day or a video out every day. That's coming to a close pretty soon. I do have some thoughts that I'll probably chime in on with the, I don't know, the season finale. So, with that said, I'll bid you adieu. Bye.